Episode 21. Are you ready to conduct the DNA test? The doctor asked, his voice low and somber, as he gazed at my mom with a mixture of empathy and curiosity. My mom's eyes locked onto the doctor's, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. Then, like a dam breaking, tears began to rush out of her eyes, streaming down her cheeks in a torrent of grief. She buried her face in her hands, her shoulders shaking with sobs. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice trembling, as she turned to my dad, Mr. Nwankwo. "Ezen is not our biological daughter." The words hung in the air like a challenge, and my dad's face went slack with shock. "What?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, as he stared at my mom in stunned silence. My mom's eyes darted around the room, as if searching for an escape. But there was no escape. Only the cold, hard truth. A few minutes later, the doctor emerged from the office, his face somber, carrying a bag containing pints of blood for the transfusion. The antiseptic smell of the hospital and the beeping of machines created a sense of urgency, underscoring the gravity of the situation. I watched my mom, her eyes red-rimmed from crying, as tears rolled down her cheeks like rain. Her face contorted in anguish. She seemed to be struggling to come to terms with the revelation. Ikemefuna, my brother, looked up at my mom with wide, curious eyes. "What is it, Mom?" he asked, his small voice trembling with concern. "Is Ezen not my sister?" he asked, his brow furrowed in confusion, as he glanced at me with a mixture of uncertainty and fear. The doctor's eyes locked onto mine, filled with a deep concern. "I plead that you sort out your family issues after her recovery," he said gently, but I was beyond consolation. "Can someone tell me what's happening?" I demanded, my voice shaking with frustration. One of the nurses placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "Don't worry. We're doing everything we can to save you," she said softly, as she and the other medical staff continued their urgent work. Mati Obiora's voice cut through the chaos, his eyes fixed on the doctor. "What about the fetuses?" he asked, his voice laced with concern. The doctor nodded reassuringly. "They're fine and healthy, but we're working hard to ensure their safety. The transfusion will help stabilize her condition, and we'll continue to monitor the fetuses closely." I felt a surge of relief wash over me, knowing that my babies were safe. But the question still lingered in my mind. Who were my biological parents? And what secrets had my mom been keeping from me? After what seemed like an eternity, I finally recovered from the ordeal. The transfusion had been a success, and the fetuses were safe and healthy. To be continued. Stay tuned for more episodes.